killed off Dom for crying out loud. He keeps coming back in each game for like extra stuff. We're like, Carlos, we know you're dead, but just come back in because there's gameplay that we need you for. You know, okay.
Welcome, friends and fans, to another edition of GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back to the war-torn world of Sarah with several incredible actors from Gears of War. So, without further ado, let's lock and load those Lancers and bring them out. Our first guest is an actor and motion capture performer whose credits include Hulk and the Agent of Smash, Ben 10, and the upcoming animated feature Batman and the Sun Downs.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Hey, how you been? Haven't seen you in a couple of years.
Yeah, it has been a while. I think it was Florida the last time.
Yeah, back last time I was here. So, and Ben, you have kept busy.
It's been a weird year.
Yes, it certainly has. Certainly has. Have you been holding up okay?
Yeah, I've been holding up. Luckily, when I got this house 10 years ago, we built a proper studio down here, so that's worked out. I didn't know that was going to come into play. So that's great.
A lot of people, especially voice acting, have had their homebrew studios, and it's been fascinating to see how they've set it up. Some people put a microphone in the closet, and some people have gone all out. And but you got a pretty good rig there, and you have the poster from Superman versus the Elite in the background, which was the first time you played a character who beat the crap out of Superman. Later on, you did motion capture. Yeah, you did Manchester Black, beat the crap out of Superman. Then you did it again as Doomsday and Batman versus Superman.
That's right. Good times.
Well, welcome. It's good to see you again. And let's bring in our next guest. He is an actor, director, and DJ whose body of work includes Big Top Scooby-Doo, Beware the Batman, and the Assassin's Creed series. Today, he joins us to discuss giving voice to Corporal Dominic Santiago and Commander Miran Trescu. Please welcome Carlos Ferro.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
Really good. And all I do is show up and go, "Sup, bitches?" That's it. That's it. All I do. I'm all done for the day.
All right. You did another turn in a really game go. You were Michael Corleone in the Godfather series.
I was indeed, and it was really, really cool. Really cool honor to play that part.
Absolutely. I think you really did the character justice. And again, that whole series was not what people were expecting. It got people. I know film heads that adored The Godfather, who, when they heard about it, it was the first game and sometimes the only game they ever played. But you made an impression, and you made a few converts to the gaming world. So kudos on that.
Thank you.
Our next guest is an actor and comedian whose body of work includes Star Trek, Klingon Academy, Star Wars, The Old Republic, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Today, he joins us to discuss giving voice to Chief of Defense Staff of the Coalition of Ordered Governments, Colonel Victor Hoffman. Please welcome Jamie Alcroft.
Woo! Thank you.
Yes, indeed, sir. Welcome to the show, sir. How you doing?
I'm laughing and scratching. What can I tell you?
Oh, indeed. So you got your start as a DJ down here in Key West. Is that correct?
I did. I was on the radio. I was the morning man in Key West, which meant that I was on the air when most of the people were coming home. So Key West really wasn't a morning show as much as it was a bring them down easy show.
And it wasn't really much of a drive time market because nobody was driving.
Nobody was driving.
Everybody was stumbling.
Everybody was stumbling. That's a good line. But it was fun because I got to interview Tom McGuane, Jimmy Buffett, Hunter Thompson, all those people that were hanging around Key West. And I just finished editing a book called Home at the End of the World that contains essays by all those people.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Check it out. And you said earlier you were a silversmith, but right now, why don't you show us your golds? You were showing us off earlier.
Oh, this is a little trinket I made. Piece of lapis lazuli, sterling silver, all handcrafted. Silver by Jamie. And that's what's kept me sane during the COVID. My wife stays at home and paints and plays the piano. And I go to the studio and just weld and pound and cut myself and get bruises and come home with hopefully a nice piece of jewelry.
Pounding metal is probably one of the best ways I can think of to survive 2020.
Yes, it is. And that's not a euphemism. I was really pounding metal.
I know. Our next guest is an actor and musician whose credits include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Zorro, and the Batman Arkham series. Today, he joins us to discuss giving voice to the ABC characters Private Anthony Carmine, Private Benjamin Carmine, and Chief Sergeant Clayton Carmine. Please welcome Michael Gough.
All the Carmine.
Hey,
It is.
Mr. Gough.
Hey,
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, healthy, breathing, living, loving life. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. You got some of the figures back there, and I see you also have my favorite robot of all time from Lost in Space up there.
Oh, Mr. B9, of course. Yeah. Now here's a quick trivia question. Can you tell me who did the voice of the robot?
I can.
Yes,
Dick Tufeld.
that's right.
Yes. and he was the best part of that remake movie, but we won't. That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Indeed. So glad to have you here, sir. By the way, in getting ready for this, I had a chance to look at some of your musical work, and I was really impressed. I think you do some really, really good stuff in that area.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. You do a really good Bonnie Potmore in the whistle.
Wow, you saw? Wow, okay. You know what that was from?
Well, you were dressed in formal attire. What was it from?
That was from the. It was like a convention, a gathering for the Highlander TV series, and they had this thing where all the performers got together and did like a cabaret, and so one of them knew me and asked me to come and play a couple of things because I wasn't part of the show, but yeah, it was very cool.
Right.
Amazing.
Now it's time for everybody to wake up again.
He's an amazing musician. And Michael showed up. What's up?
You played theremin at that event?
No. I played the bagpipes and the penny whistle.
The bagpipes.
Not the theremin.
Yeah, he showed up at my house a couple of times with the bagpipes. Just played in the street, like everybody just gathers around. He's amazing.
Well, when we get back to physical conventions again, bring both those instruments. Our next guest is a veteran actor of 150 on-screen appearances that include Deadwood, Heartbreak Ridge, and one of GalaxyCon's favorite movies of all time, Streets of Fire. Today, he joins us to discuss giving voice to Private Dizzy Wallen and Naval Captain Quentin Michelson. Please welcome Peter Jason.
Head down. Get your head down. Get your head down. What's on my hat?
How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, just working my way through this pandemic.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Jason, you are a veteran. So many fantastic roles. We could spend a whole hour on you, but there's one question I have to ask. From 48 hours, do people still come up to you randomly and ask for some vodka?
I used to Black Russians used to appear on my restaurant table whenever I would go in for a dinner, for years, until finally I just said, I'm not a Russian or black, So, yeah, that was a very memorable job. It was really fun to work with Walter. Yeah, Walter Hill is one of my favorite directors. I've done, I think, 13 or 15 movies with him.
Yes.
Wow.
And he creates a family, and he's always got a vision. He's not one of those guys you can I try this? He'll go, great idea. No.
About sums it up. Well, again, glad to have you here, sir. And finally, he is an actor whose body work includes Adventure Time, Ben 10, and Futurama. And of course, he joins us to discuss giving voice to former prisoner number B1116-87, aka Sergeant Marcus Phoenix. Please welcome John DiMaggio.
Hi, everybody. Are we good? Why isn't everybody wearing a mask? I got
The only one practicing.
look, you nerds. Look, it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. Anyway, oh my goodness.
The fact you got a Donkey Kong mask is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Band of Weirdos. Check them out. I'm wearing that. I don't know why I'm selling their stuff, but they're great people. They've given me a lot of free stuff. Anyway, hi everybody. How you doing? It's good to be here. It's great to see everyone here. In the
boxes.
Yeah. This room here. This unusual Brady Bunch setup that we have. I'm just waiting for somebody to go dun, 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 and then we start the whole thing. So all is well.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you all for joining us today. As always, we look forward to when the world gets a little bit back to normal and we can put you back in our stages and back in front of your fans. But until the meantime, we are thrilled to have you here on the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Our team right now is going through the chat room to pull the audience questions. In the meantime, I would just love to hear how Gears of War began for each of you. And John, we should probably start with you.
What's funny is, actually we should start with, was that Carlos's cat? Anyway, gang.
That was mine.
But no, it's not.
Oh, that was your cat? See, there you go. No, when we first started the game, it was just an advertisement like that they showed me, and they were like, we want something like this. And they had a temp actor in there. And it was a really cool voice. And it turns out it was Steve Bloom.
Oh,
it was Steve Bloom who originally did the voice in the ad. So I've always felt a debt of gratitude to Steve Bloom for sucking just like this much, get by the skin of your teeth to get a gig. I love Steve Bloom. He's a fantastic actor. But that's how I got the gig. I mean, we just talked about it, and at that time I was doing Futurama, and so it was a complete 180 from doing the robot, and so they were just like, he's a badass, and they showed me the character, and I was like, oh man, this dude is a rock. This dude is incredible. And so, and I've been lucky to play him since the beginning. So, 14 years, it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was great, and it just clicked, and then we just ran with it.
Yeah, exactly like you said. It was a radical change from all the animated characters you had done up to that point. It gave you an ass kicking and sometimes legitimately dramatic role.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was totally a departure from that. And what was cool was that I got to play with it, and it was a lot of fun. And there was also a sense of a little bit of sense of improv too. Like I could, they allowed me to bring a little something to it. We get what we had on the paper down, but then there was a little bit of room to play with, and that. You get some moments, in certain scenes where, you get some Easter eggs,
Yeah.
But it's pretty, it was a lot of fun. The whole, since the beginning to this day, it's been great. And
Absolutely.
I'm very proud of the work that everybody did.
I can't believe it's been 14 years when you said that. I'm like, oh my God.
Right?
No, it's 2006, man.
Yeah.
That's when it's a long time, and 5 games. It's crazy.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Pretty much.
The gig that keeps gigging.
I mean, Jesus, they killed off Dom for crying out loud. He keeps coming back in each game for extra stuff. We're like, Carlos, we know you're dead, but just come back in because there's gameplay that we need you for.
Come to think of it, Carlos, let's go to you. How did they approach you the first time, and then what was it like to be? Hey, you want to come back and play another one?
Well, from the very beginning, like John was saying, the book they gave us, it was the first, at least in my experience with games, that had a Bible. Like it already had these very realized characters.
Yeah.
And the world was all played. I mean, it looked like we were adapting a comic book franchise or a book franchise. It was that fleshed out. So all this great background just made it like exciting. It felt new. It felt really, really new. And originally, I think some people had in mind when I think the working title was Warfare, like Unreal Warfare. And at that time, my character was very much like the Cheech in the Squad. It was written. And it was going to be like, hey, Marcus, he's over there, man. What the fuck?
Oh God!
And I was like, can I give you guys something else?
Yeah.
And fortunately, everybody involved got kind of they seem a lot more excited about Dom sounding the way he would sound permanently to this kind of like, kind of expected in that, 16 years ago or 14 years ago, people kind of were used to like, there's the Latin guy, the black guy, the Asian guy. They all sound like this. And it was fun to kind of bring this new kind of a reality to this world that was so fantastic, that was what was fun for me.
And it was the Unreal. What was the
Unreal Warfare was, I think, the working title.
Yeah, but the actual operating
Unreal Tournament. Oh, the Unreal Engine.
Yeah. The Unreal Engine was the total game changer for the whole game. So that when that happened, it was just like, I mean, I was playing the game just like, oh my God, it's incredible. Yeah. So it's great.
Nice, very nice. So you had a heads up ahead of time that we're gonna kill off this character, but we're gonna bring you back.
No.
Right.
I was taken to dinner, to be told. Rod Ferguson. I thought he was asking me out. Because we're at work, and after the session. And John, I think Robin, I think Michael, I think we all remember when we used to say, you're so fired, was sort of a joke in the booth way back then. And then all of a sudden, working on the third game, I said it and nobody laughed. And then Rod says, you want to have a meal afterwards? And I'm like, yeah. And it started feeling more like a walk, like death row.
Man.
And
walking.
To encapsulate, I went through the 4 stages of grief in one dinner. I was like, no, it's not happening. Then I started negotiating, and I got pissed. And my favorite memory from that dinner is that smart guy over here. I started saying to Rod, just me and Rod at a little dinner in Burbank, and I'm saying to him, Star Wars would never kill Han Solo. Don't you understand? That would never happen. Ever.
Oh, no.
So, we all know how that worked out.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Little did you know, J.J. Abrams is at the next table.
Yeah, so the fate was sealed. But, I actually am very proud of how it worked out. And I was really happy about how it was written. And seriously, and this is as sincere as I can be, the best part of working on the Dom's death scene was that John was in the booth with me. And we've been very lucky that they keep Marcus and Dom together for these key scenes like the Maria scene in 2 and the death scene. And I don't know, man, I don't want to get too sentimental, but it was a heavy day. And John was really, really great. He helped me out a lot. So a lot of what you hear was improvised by John. Check out that tattoo. Check out that
he's at the ink.
And me and John had some pretty, I would say, some pretty special experiences dealing with the real kind of hyper real stuff that we did with Gears.
Absolutely. So, Robin, how did this evolve for you?
Well, let me start off with this.
Wait. Wait, am I pointing? I'm pointing in the wrong direction. That's Robin.
How did it start for me? I guess I was, I'd worked on some games with Chris Borders, and when they first started on this, they brought me in, I guess, to audition for a few roles, and I ended up booking them in, which for me was at that time, I think I started doing voiceover in about 2001. So I was playing all these sort of wacky characters, and for some reason during that time, I was playing all these, old wizened wizards and all these weird characters. And so it was nice. It was the first sort of straight military guy, and of course, Min dies in the first one, so I ended up dying pretty quick. But it was also a time in my voiceover career when kind of my voiceover career sort of evolved from people asking me if I could do things, and at the time I had no idea. So one day they brought me in to experiment and see if I could do some of the creatures.
Yeah.
They brought me in to do like Cantus or the Boomer or something. And they're like, I don't know, just like make something up, or can you do the creature voices? And so I just tried. And I realized in that one session, I put something on my YouTube channel that, wow, my voice can do all these things that I never realized it could do before. And I sort of found it out in that session. So that was crazy. And then from that, that sort of spun off into doing creatures and stuff for movies. So I really, have to thank Gears of War and Rod for helping find that in my voice. Although now I just want to play the straight guy. I don't want to do that anymore. I see those like huge orcs, coming out. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
I want a character that talks.
But it's such a cool, franchise, and the fact that they brought me back so many, Min came back, and then I got to play these fun characters like Chaps, and then Niles, in the last one, and Rod is just a really sweet guy, and just so specific about what he wants. I mean, he basically, controls everything that's going on. He's the mastermind behind it all.
He's the best dungeon master ever.
Yeah. And now he's gone, right? He's but shit, what a hell of an accomplishment.
Way to bring the room down, Robert.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
no, he's gone. He didn't get
Mike,
COVID, everybody. He just moved on to a different company.
He fucking nailed it and just left. Yeah, exactly. At the right time, like bam.
Greater pastures. So, Peter, how did this evolve for you?
Well, I made the colossal mistake of trying out this voice. I said, well, but he's a cracker, right? Does he talk about up here, right? Yeah. Oh, we love that. Yeah. And the next thing you know, 10 hours later of doing this voice louder and loudest of 25 commands on each page, it was like, where do I go to get it? I didn't even nap. Oh my God! It was one of the hardest jobs I've ever done, and literally I could only do it one day in a row because I had to rest my voice the next day because it was absolutely raw by the end of the day.
Voice acting for video games is a unique path.
It is very unique.
It's like gargling concrete.
I was like a novice in that area, and I'm not sure if I'd already started on Deadwood or how they got me to come in to do this, but I play a lot of guys. And this guy was, he drove all the transports. He had that hat. It looked like he could be just that guy. And all of a sudden, we took him into the stratosphere, and when you're up in that area for a while, all of a sudden you don't see nothing except air. It's crazy. And your voice is just crying, and he goes, "Oh, there's only 7 more pages." Really? You're doing great. We only got some more pages.
Oh my God!
Thank you, Chris Chambers.
Michael.
Borders.
Michael, how about you?
Yeah. So I remember auditioning with we will mention again, Mr. Chris Borders, the wonderful director of all of this stuff, and. The first Gears of War 1, in the beginning, Anthony Carmine didn't even have a name. He was just like, I think he was just referred to as Cog Soldier 1 or something in the script. And, he's this young gung-ho, and he gets his head blown off, There's something wrong with this thing. It's jammed.
Yeah.
And that was,
Michael, indulge me. Do that again.
Something wrong with this thing. It's jammed.
Just perfect.
So perfect.
So that was, it was a nice it was a really cool game, and then so I thought that's that, and then somehow he became a thing, to the extent that they had to bring Carmine back for Gears of War 2, except he was dead, so now he's got a brother, Benjamin, who then, of course, is also pretty young and green, and Private Ben Carmine, sir, reporting for duty, sir. And then he dies a horrible death, inside the belly of and he's torn to pieces, and he's melting from digestive acid, and then but then again, somehow the Carmine thing has become kind of almost like killing Kenny on South Park.
Straight up.
And God bless all the fans that they put together a thing for Clayton, Gears of War 3. Should Carmine live or should Carmine die? It was a whole fan vote thing. It was raising money for charity. There were T-shirts, Carmine must die.
Wow, that's heavy duty. Shit.
Thank goodness the fans voted in the end that Carmine should survive. So Clayton Carmine lives on to this day, and he's the brother with he's got a little more hair on his chest.
He's the Private Ryan of this game.
Yeah.
he's the one on steroids, and he's still going strong, and so thank you, fans. And I feel bad for Mama Carmine. I kept seeing like the scene from the beginning of Private Ryan where the guy's walking up to deliver the bad news to Mom, and she sort of sinks to her knees, But that's sort of brief history of the Carmine.
I always pictured her as like the mom from the Jack Webb movie, The D.I., where she's like, "I am proud my sons have died in honorable combat." Like just
wow,
wackadoodle or something like that.
I'm what a great reference.
Deep cut. Oh no,
What I do?
There's a deep cut right there.
Yeah. So, Jamie, how did this start for you?
Oh, well, a blind date with Chris Waters.
like most
Carlos, sorry, you're not the only one who's asked.
I went into audition for Chris and the gang, and they said they wanted a mean, rough, kind of military, Marine. So I gave him Victor Hoffman. And I remembered that my very first voiceover job was that little parrot for Whiskas Cat Food. And the only reason I got that little parrot was I ad-libbed in the audition. And I said, at the end of it, I said, "Remember, love thy neighbors, don't eat them." And that became kind of the motto of the whole campaign. It went on for 4 years with this little bird.
That's what the parrot sounded like?
I beg your pardon?
The parrot sounded like that?
Yeah, they didn't want a parrot. They wanted Euro trash. So it's, "Okay, kitty cats, read the Bambi. No more birds."
That's beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
So when I was doing Victor Hoffman, I decided when I was in a comedy team, Mac and Jamie, and we used to do this stuff because my partner was from the South. And so we always go better than, bigger than, all this stuff. So I said, "Well, I tell you, I'm happier than a cat on a liver wagon. I'm happier than a baby in a barrel full of titties." And they said, "Oh, boy, you got more of those?" And I said, "Yeah, I got more of those." So I started doing the happier than, busier than, madder than. And they said, "Okay, great." And then I got it. And
Nice.
I did. And like Peter, I went in with this voice, and I was never more sorry than I went in with this goddamn voice. When I do this voice and I do the shout outs, I am dead after a day. I mean,
Sorry, fellas.
so,
I think I got you beat.
yeah, I think you do. I think you do. But anyway, so that's how I got it. And little footnote, when they did Gears of War 5, I was in a hospital waiting to receive a new heart. So I was waiting to get a heart transplant. And in Gears of War 5, Chris Borders sent out a missive to the fans. Victor needs a new heart. Let's keep him alive. And it was this whole thing. I mean, he just took my life and put it into the story and got all the fans excited about Hoffman surviving. And I was actually suffering from heart failure. So I got a 46-year-old heart. And yeah, it's exciting. But I'm at my age, with a 46-year-old heart, I don't know whether to have a midlife crisis or get a reverse mortgage. I am so conflicted. So that's how I got it. And then God bless Chris, he got me back in for Gears of War 6 because I thought, oh well, I missed a Gears.
Wait, there's a 6.
There's a 6.
There's a 6.
There's a 6. Son of a bitch. I didn't know about that. They were all dead.
Well, John, now that we've done Gears of War 10, I think Rod's going to ask you out for dinner.
Son of a bitch. I don't want a steak. The death steak. That's it.
Yeah.
Starring Steve Bloom as
You want to grab a bite after the session? No.
Oh man.
Any man whistling in the background.
Death steak.
So Jamie, you'll get that reverse mortgage, but use the money to get yourself a red Mustang convertible to,
Oh, I already got it. I got a 66 Alfa Romeo Duetto.
Yeah, Jamie, this is your heart. That's right. You bring it home. Boom.
I drive that son of a bitch every day.
Nice. All right, our producer, let me know. We've got some questions for our audience. Good to go. So let's roll our first one. And it comes from Ryan, who wants to know, how does acting in a video game compare to acting in another genre?
It hurts more.
Less money.
Less money. Straight away, less money. You know what? There's a lot. The thing about video game acting is that there's a lot of ground to cover. You have to create the whole world. So, I mean, we joke about, just like, Dom, you take left, Dom, you take right, Dom, you go straight, Dom, you go back. Like we joke about having to do.
Marcus, what's that?
Yeah. It's like you have to really fill in the blanks. I mean, literally, with the world itself, with the physical world of the game, as well as the oral part of the game. And so it's a lot different. It's a little more grueling. It's a little more repetitious. It's hard on the throat. If you make a choice that, like the guys were saying, like if you make that choice that have that certain character, you got to live with that and you got to deliver the goods.
The easiest part is you don't have to memorize any lines.
Oh my God.
True. Yeah.
There you go.
Plus,
How
Gears
about
has
that?
created over the years now. Yeah, if I don't know if there's Gears 6, but by Gears 5, there's probably like 80 creatures that could attack you. So if you're a soldier or something, you're like, oh my God, it's the locust, and there's 80 lines for that, and then there's the other creatures, and then there's the other one. It's like pages and pages.
You have to
But
die.
just like John says, you have to create the scenery, you have to create the lighting, you have to create everything about the scene with your voice. You have to let everybody in to where you are, what's going on somehow. And even with those shout outs, I think you'll agree that with each shout out, you kind of have to take a breath and then go and be in it.
Now I know why they dumped me.
Back off and then be in it.
Peter, you're like, what are you just talking about?
But ultimately, now that Peter's gone, ultimately, it's just like John said, you're creating a world. But ultimately, I think it's easier than other genres, don't you guys? I mean, you can show up in
listen,
your shorts,
waiting
you
for
know,
the light, waiting for the for the jet to go over.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier than TV and movies,
The saddest part is you work alone.
and fun.
That's the thing I miss, though. I miss
I miss
working
that
with,
too.
like, when we do animation, you get to work with the other actors.
Yeah.
For the most part, for video games, you're on your own in there.
Yeah.
So you're not only creating the world, you're also creating who you're
I love
talking
creating
to.
that family.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I think
Yeah.
mocap is one of the funnest things to work
Like
on.
this group right here, we should take this on the road.
Do it. Yeah.
You know?
We'll be appearing in parking lots everywhere. To
We need some dancing girls, and I'll cook.
no.
I'm game, sure. Michael,
Yeah, I'll dance.
how about what are your thoughts on voice acting versus other genres or video game voice acting?
Well, one thing that always fascinates me is the deep dive that you get to do, and the breadth and the width of the storytelling in especially the Gears of War games. But and thank God you've got the director and sometimes the writer creators to kind of keep you on track, because otherwise I wouldn't know where, who, what. But yeah, I mean, it's grueling, but it's in a good way. And like, a lot of you guys have said, you've got to do something a dozen times over. You've got to die. Okay, you're on fire for 5 seconds. Okay, now you're dying in flames for 10 seconds. Okay, now you're having your guts pulled out of you. But let's keep it real,
That's acting.
it's really happening, and that's the challenge of, okay, what's that going to sound like as this character? And then you've got to interact with whoever you're talking to or screaming at or telling to die, motherfucker. It's and you've got to keep your imagination on track, because you've got to, you have to visualize who and what you're dealing with. It's fun. It's a challenge, but it's a blast.
I have an Easter egg for anybody watching. Set Dom on fire in any place you can. Set him on fire, because for some reason they didn't get enough takes or enough variations. So it's a loop of the same scream. So when Dom is on fire, he sounds like Homer Simpson running in a circle. He just goes, ah, 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 ah.
I gotta check that out.
That's
Check
great.
it out.
Nice. Ryan, thank you. Great one to start us off with. And a reminder to our audience, if you would like to chat with our guests like I am now or purchase a personalized autograph, please sign up at GalaxyCon.com. And let's roll another one and this comes from Emma. What do you think was the most iconic moment in the franchise?
Dom's death. Dom's death. Dom's death. Dom's death. Dom's death was one of the most, I mean,
I'll take it.
Listen, the reason is because it was the most gut-wrenching. People still to this day, when they at these conventions, they come to me and they talk about that scene, like how they cried at a video game and they'd never cried at a video game. That scene is absolutely 100% the scene of the entire franchise.
Thanks, bro.
Absolutely.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I'm yeah,
That's it.
yeah. That's it.
Question answered.
Great stuff. Carlos was wonderful. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Yeah, there was the moment too that you had, Dom. Right? I mean, it's not Dom. Carlos.
Yes.
There was a really poignant moment for you. I'm trying to remember what it was. When your wife dies, or like,
dies is nice way to put it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Maria scene, for me, I mean, in my work in all 5 games, the tentpole moments for me are the Maria scene and the death scene, obviously, as John was saying. But I think that they're so iconic because of the world that we're in. Everybody will talk about how moved they were, but that doesn't come cheap. I mean, it's putting all that time into getting to know us and getting to know the characters we're playing. And I will say that if we're going to really say something about the death scene, and we've never all been together like this virtually, John, his Dom, the button on the death scene, when the way he says Dom, that one word I've said at every con when I get asked, just like John said, I get asked a lot about the death scene and about me and John being in the booth together. The way he says Dom, and I've worked with John for many years on many different things, that's my favorite thing John's ever done. And yeah, it's personal because it was to me, but that Dom carries so much weight. And I truly believe that the scene wouldn't be as good without John's work in the scene as well. There you go.
Quit it.
You know, that's there's a good point there, because a lot of how the player, the audience feels is because of the reaction of those around whoever's dying. And a lot of times, you know, Marcus is the guy who's there and is reacting, so they're feeling through him.
Exactly.
I just saw this last night. It's a YouTube video. It says top 10 saddest deaths in Gears of War, and of course Dom's number one.
Carmine's number 2.
I was about to say 2, 3. You were 2, 3, and 4.
Well, yeah, Ming's in there too.
A lot of
Ben's in there. Everybody's in there.
Benjamin Carmine's death again. John is there, and Marcus, and just his reaction and the way he kind of, I think he's kneeling over him and he kind of looks up. That's got a lot to do with. There's a lot of heart and soul and guts to Gears of War, and that's one of the things that people really love about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Emma,
I also love chopping people in half. I mean, it was one of the first video games where you could like take a fucking gun and like chop somebody in half. Like I can't wait to do that. Yeah. Or stomp a head on the curb. Like,
wait, there's a chainsaw on the gun?
Yes. Incredible.
Emma, thank you so much. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the cast of Gears of War. Panelists, any final words or any promotions that you share with our audience before we go?
Take your head down!
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Jimmy, you got a book.
When I was in the hospital getting my heart transplant, I wrote a diary and I published it, the Tin Man Diaries.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's doing pretty well. And, you know, it's quite an experience. Whoever tells you laughter is the best medicine has never had a morphine drip.
Oh.
Alive.
Look at a room full of drug addicts. We're all like,
morphine drip. Hell yeah, dude.
That's not funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's available where all fine books can be purchased.
Just on Amazon.com. I'm not with the fine books yet.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Amazon.com.
Anybody got anything else?
Most of the stuff we're working on, we can't talk about.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know.
That's true.
Robin, I did mention Batman: The Soul of the Dragon. Can you say anything about that, or even give us a release date?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
We're all NDAs. This is the most NDA group you'll ever talk to.
That's true.
Hey, and that's fine by me because that means you're all working.
Unda.
Yeah.
All a bunch of undas.
Absolutely. So, well, gentlemen, it's been my absolute pleasure to serve you all today. Thank you for joining us at the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. Thank you for all those great questions.
Hey, everybody.
Indeed. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care. And please keep washing those hands.